Come with me to a magical place where being labeled the pork queen is a compliment, where being nice is just a way of life, and where all leaders of the free world must pass through. Welcome to Iowa. Whether you're a current Iowan, an Iowa expat, or an Iowan at heart, this show is for you. This is the Iowa Podcast. Real Iowans, real talk, no drama. I'm Justin Brady from the Brady Dental Care Studio. It is college time. College started this week in Iowa. And, you know, parents sending students off to college have lots of questions. They don't know what they're really doing at the university. And, of course, college students themselves are walking into a new life experience. And so what better way to give you the lowdown, give you basically all the background information that any college student and any college student parent might want than with Pete Moris, the Director of University Relations at the University of Northern Iowa. Pete, thank you so much for coming on the Iowa Podcast.
Yeah, Justin, thanks for the invitation. Appreciate it.
I'm super excited about it. I remember college. I actually went to a dry campus, so a lot of people are always shocked to learn this. They're like, I didn't even have a drop of alcohol till I was married. So for a lot of people, college is like, you get to define who you are, and you get to maybe, have a couple drinks with buddies. And for me, that was very much not my experience. I actually studied. I know that's weird for people to hear, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Have times changed? Is it still very much a party atmosphere you guys have to fight against? We'll talk a little bit about that too. But before we do all of that, there's a lot we have to cover, Pete. It might be a 2-hour show. But before we do all of that, everyone, every week, we're bringing you incredible Iowans. We're bringing you incredible information. Of course, I ask you to subscribe. It's on every platform. But also do this. Give us 5 stars on your favorite app. That trains the algorithm that, hey, this Iowa podcast stuff is pretty cool. Maybe you should serve it up. And then our neighbors in like Nebraska and Illinois will get really jealous, I promise. Also, make sure to share this with just one friend. I know that there's a very low chance of you actually doing that because people don't, they're going to sit back and enjoy the show, and that's fine. But just get out of your comfort zone. Maybe tweet about the show. Maybe post about it somewhere. We would appreciate that. It really does help, and we're kind of beating the crap out of a lot of the local news radio stations. We won't talk about who those people are, but that's exciting for us. So thank you for all your support. Pete, obviously college time. Let's start out with this. You guys just got, I feel bad for people like you and universities that are just trying to educate students, because the last few years, the whole COVID pandemic and then the school debt debates in Congress, did that have a negative impact on you guys? Did that kind of have you sweating a little bit?
Well, I would say I think hopefully we are on the backside of some of that COVID fatigue, and really what we'll have our census coming out next week, and we're really encouraged by what our overall enrollment number is going to be, what our incoming freshmen numbers and transfer numbers are. And so I think, there's a real appetite for students to get back on campus and to enjoy that, the part of college that you can't really quantify, which is that camaraderie, that sense of community that you get by living on a campus and getting involved in things that you're passionate about.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like something that we've lost in kind of work culture now as people are going remote. This isn't going to be a debate on like work from home or work from office, but there's definitely something to be said. And we're only just starting to realize this in research now, but there's definitely something to be said about community. We had the founder of Gravitate on a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about even mental health and how being in a community and being with other people is really a huge boost to your mental health. We're having this isolation problem nationally now. I think the Surgeon General brought that up, and that has real consequences. So there is something to be said on being on a campus together, forming that community and meeting, new friends for life. That's not just a benefit. That's not just like a little side benefit of college. It is a big primary benefit of college. So I am assuming you guys took kind of an enrollment hit during the pandemic, and then it's bouncing back up now. Will you be fully recovered this year? Will you surpass your 2019 levels? What's that outlook look like?
Yeah, again, we won't have final numbers until next week, but yeah, we are on pace to really be in a position of after many years, not just at UNI, but across the Midwest, you're seeing a hot economy, low unemployment, and that's sending a lot of folks directly into the workforce that normally would think about a 4-year degree. And so that's a trend that's been going on even pre-COVID. And so, yeah, we're now starting to see that, not only here at UNI, but other institutions across the state are seeing some of that bounce back that we were hoping for.
So what I'm kind of hearing, if I'm reading between the lines, is we'll probably at least have a level off, maybe not exceeding 2019, but we're at least recovering back to normal.
Yeah, I think I'm really optimistic that we're going to hopefully surpass some of the numbers that we may have seen in the past couple of years, and really be again. I think that incoming freshman and transfer number is really encouraging here at UNI, and we're with our partnership with community colleges across the state of Iowa. We're really seeing an uptick in folks transferring from 2-year institutions and seeking to finish off that 4-year bachelor's degree here at UNI.
Yeah, I mean, I know Iowans like to hear that. Did COVID and the whole debt thing, the student debt crisis is what some people are calling it, did that change incoming students at all? Like, have you seen a switch in majors? Are people focusing on different areas? Do students have different concerns that maybe previously they didn't have?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think one of the things that we've tried to do here at UNI is respond to not only the demand from our students for programming, but also the employment needs here in the state of Iowa. And as you know, in the 99 counties in Iowa, we're proudly represented in all of them. And of course, our traditional programs, teacher education, higher, superintendents, principals, and education, we're still very strong in that, as well as business and accounting. We just started up a hybrid accounting program at Des Moines Area Community College in Des Moines, and that's largely in part due to demand from the financial sector in Des Moines that they're trying to find entry-level accounting and business people, and we're a great resource for those type of students. But one of the things that we're really excited about here is that we've launched our College of Health and Human Sciences, and kind of the flagship program in there is nursing, which will launch next fall, and that is the number one need and in-demand occupation sector that we're seeing real strong growth in. And since we are in all 99 counties, I think particularly in those underserved rural communities, this is an opportunity where we can get some UNI students back in their hometowns, getting some practical experience, and helping again help a sector that people are traveling long distances to get real basic health care in many parts of the state. And I think that's one of the things that we do really well at UNI is focus on what the state needs and how we can help bridge that gap.
Yeah, I mean, nursing, that's actually really, really interesting, because we do have, I don't know what the right term is, but let's just say we do have a healthcare staffing problem in this country, right? It's actually very difficult to find nurses and doctors right now. And so it's good to hear that you guys are addressing that problem. One of the other things I've heard from students, we had a couple, the Association of Business and Industry has Leadership Iowa. We had some students on with that program a couple weeks ago. And I remember students thinking like their priorities for college were like, going to a cool location on the coast or going to a big city like New York or Chicago. And that was like, cool. That's what their priorities were. Making sure that I have a program that aligns with my future goals. But more importantly, I want mountains and oceans and cool stuff, right? I remember when I was in high school, that was the concern of college students. I don't know if that's completely gone, but it's mostly gone at this point, because all three students for all 4 students were saying, nah, actually, we're concerned about when we graduate making mortgage payments and having a stable place to raise our family. And I really pressed them on that, and they doubled down on it. So are you seeing this mentality, this new kind of outlook reflected in your student body over there at the University of Northern Iowa?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. That there's a sense of practicality that maybe today's students are more in tune with than maybe in previous years, and some of that is we do see some of that here at UNI just because of the number of first generation students that attend, and they've seen. Maybe somebody in their family that's been on a blue collar job, and how tenuous those jobs can be when the economy shifts. So I do think that obviously you want to go somewhere cool and fun, and we do want to make this experience at UNI, all of that for our students. But in many respects. Folks are coming in, they kind of have an idea of what their career path may be. But then we also have students who, I don't know what I want to do. And that's okay too. We do have kind of an exploratory program here at UNI that allows you to kind of, pick and choose from some different areas to help find that path. So, but at the end of the day, right, it's the total experience. It's not just about class. It's about getting involved and finding kind of that core group of people that you want to be involved with, whether that's a campus group, fraternity, sorority, or intramurals. So we've got a lot of those opportunities, and I think that's one of the things that students are craving is, hey, I want to go somewhere where I can be with people who are maybe different from me. But also people that I feel like I can connect with. And that's one of the things we emphasize here at UNI.
Yeah, and I want to get into that stuff too, because that's a really important part of what you guys are up to right now. But before we move into that, I got to ask, because it's in the headlines constantly. And of course, I definitely always have to know what universities are doing because of it. And it's AI. Are you changing your curriculum at all because of these new AI tools? Are they being worked into the curriculum? Are you, even phasing out certain programs in the future because of AI's impact on work culture?
Yeah, it's a fascinating time and a real interesting conversation that, we've had a working group here on campus with faculty and different campus leaders and students, and trying to figure out, right, what's that sweet spot? You certainly can't bury your head in the sand and think that students aren't going to, access the technology that's available.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Part of the goal is to try to teach them not only how to use it, but how to use it responsibly.
Yep.
And how, even in our day-to-day work with, our colleagues across campus, we're trying to figure out, okay, how might this help our workflow, and what unintended consequences is it causing that no one thought about when some of these technologies and programs rolled out.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I'm really glad you brought that up. And that is one of the areas that I know a lot of students, a lot of parents are concerned about. This is maybe another topic, but of course, my outlook on AI is one that it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to really save a lot of industries and not negatively impact a lot of industries. One brief example is what we're seeing in healthcare. We had Dr. Abramoff from Iowa City. He's the he's the founder of Digital Diagnostics, and they basically said, look, doctors are overwhelmed as it is, and the AI we've developed is actually allowing them to increase the quality of care to patients because they can spend more time with them. So everyone has the doom and gloom stories. I think AI is going to be great for the workforce. I think it's going to allow people to do jobs they love and make more money doing it. So anyway, that's a whole other topic. But one of the things I do want to talk a lot about one of the things I want to ask about is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Huberman Lab, but it's like a huge major podcast, and Dr. Huberman's been talking a lot about alcohol consumption, and there is this big movement where like people are dropping alcohol, not because they're alcoholics or they have a problem, but just it has a negative health impact on their life. You know, things that we've known for a while. I think actually some government guidance on drinks, how many drinks is appropriate, is actually changing. I think they've just lowered that. I don't have a reference in front of me, but has that drinking trend, that anti-drinking trend, has it caught up with University of Northern Iowa students? Is there a more hesitancy to drinking, or does the college still have to really nudge them the right way to abstain and not drink? And I know that obviously drinking probably at least the first part of school creates some problems on campus. So have you seen a change there?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it may be a little bit too early to tell, just based on the fact that we're all kind of in this post-COVID world, and what we knew is kind of the norm is really shifted and evolved. And one of the things that we've rolled out here at UNI is a teletherapy app which students can access 24/7. And I think a couple of the things that go along with substance abuse, or the lack of moderation, is the mental health piece, and that's really probably more than the alcohol piece. Is we've really seen a demand from students that I want to be able to talk to somebody when I'm having a difficult situation. And that might not be during normal, 9 to 5 office hours, Monday through Friday. And so really, that is a significant change that we've seen here on this campus. But yeah, it's interesting.
I think this is a good time to
let's alcohol and substances. Yeah,
let's talk about that, right? Because I think there was an article that you shared with me on KCRG August 29th, so a day before this podcast airs, about that and what your campus is doing. Can you tell us a little bit about TELUS? It's a telemedicine virtual kind of therapy tool. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so it's really designed to give students access to 24/7 access if they really need to talk to somebody, whether it's, hey, I sprained my ankle over at the wellness center, and hey, what do I do besides ice and aspirin to take care of this, right? Or hey, I'm just really feeling down and I don't know how to pop out of this. And it's meant to be able to not only solve an immediate situation, but help point students towards all the resources that we have on campus for the health and well-being of our students. And so, yeah, I think that's something that we've seen is, right, perhaps in the past, you'd go in and you'd see somebody for a mental health challenge, and they'd want to schedule 5 or 6 appointments and kind of that traditional mental health counseling. And now it's a little bit more a la carte, where I just need some help right now. Can I talk to somebody, and where do I need to go? So that's a really significant shift, and I think that's one of the ways we're trying to provide the services that our students really are asking for and really need.
I mean, that's an example right there of how technology, I think, is going to improve health outcomes. And when,
absolutely.
So what I'm hearing is that it's just not mental health. It's overall health, because you mentioned sprained ankle and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
That's cool.
Students are, much more conscious about, diet. I mean, making sure that, we've got vegan and gluten-free options in our dining halls. The access to the wellness center and our climbing wall and our pools and weights and aerobics classes and yoga and all that is right. You've got a group of incoming students who have been exposed to a lot of things, via social media, that they now, I expect that there's going to be a yoga class, in the mornings before class. Yeah, that it's just expected that
Wow,
you're going to
that's
offer
crazy.
some of this stuff
Things have
because they see
changed.
their friends participating in it.
Things have changed since I've been in college. But what's interesting is I was reading an article in the Harvard Business Review this morning about how habits formed in college continue through our professional life. And one of those is sleep, right? So this is one of those things that sticks with people through their adult and career life. So, obviously colleges have gyms, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are changing up the food options, because when I went to college, some of the food options at other universities were pretty terrible. My university was actually pretty good. They had like fresh veggies and a lot of pretty good options. Some colleges don't have that. And so, are you guys, outside of the cafeteria and having better food options, are you guys, is it education? Is it changing the dorms? Is it stricter quiet time periods? How are you helping students? And obviously they need to be responsible for themselves, but how are you encouraging or helping students to form those healthy habits in the college experience?
Yeah, I think a great example is, we were talking about dollars and cents earlier, and we've got a program. It's called Live Like a Student Today, so you don't have to after you graduate, and just offering some practical courses and guidance of, hey, how do I manage my money, right? How do I do a budget? Yeah. And that piece has changed now that
can we invite Congress to come to you and I to take those courses? I think all our leaders could go through that class. Maybe
we'd be happy to help anyone.
Special UNI program.
Yeah, and really, I think that the proof is in the pudding. Our students, graduate with a lower level of debt than just about any other institution in the state, and so that's one of the things that we're very conscious of is, giving students access to an education that they can afford. And obviously, we can't control what's allocated from the legislature. But our goal is always to keep tuition as low as we reasonably can. And frankly, the funding that all the Regent institutions have gotten has continually went down, and that's put a strain on students who are having to figure out, how do I pay for this 4-year education?
Yeah, no, absolutely. The one other thing in like the self-care arena, since we're talking about that, health, sleep, is conflict, right? There are some prominent psychologists, PhDs, that have been talking about the fact that all this lack of face-to-face interaction that we had during all the lockdowns and the global response to COVID and how people treated that. It led to a lot of isolation. Of course, we were talking earlier about the Surgeon General warning that isolation is a big problem. And so this lack of face-to-face, according to Dr. Andrea Mata, PhD, she's a psychologist person smarter than I am, is that this lack of face-to-face interaction has led to making conflict resolution even worse. Like, people don't know how to resolve very, very simple conflict. They just don't know how to do it. And so are you seeing this at University of Northern Iowa? And do you have anything in place to help people resolve conflict? Because you're bringing people that have been isolated for a while. They maybe don't know how to deal with this, and now you're putting them all in the same spot. Is there a strategy in place, or is there general guidance you have?
Well, I think it's a great question, and certainly if you look at social media and the political arena, having a respectful conversation has become exceedingly difficult in our society, and that's one of the great lessons that I think folks learn on a college campus is how to respectfully debate an issue without getting into a screaming match, right? There's a way that you have a dialogue, and we've got some very skilled faculty on this campus who, went through some of the social upheaval in the 60s and 70s, and lived that as part of their college experience. And I think having that polite civil discord is one of the things that maybe a few of those people that you mentioned in government might need to come to you and I and learn a little bit about.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. One of the other things that I want to ask about is, again, another habit that's set in college and definitely high school as well, is time management. I'm seeing a lot of professionals, because everybody knows I don't do the Iowa podcast full time. I have a corporate job where I consult with a bunch of companies, and I'm seeing a lot of time management challenges, probably what Cal Newport, who's one of my favorite authors of deep work, would call the hive mind. And so, you're really, 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 really busy. You're doing lots of stuff. You're taking lots of trips. You're jumping on lots of meetings, taking on lots of calls, but you're not actually getting anything done. So I know that time management is a crucial thing in college, but also crucial for where all your students are going, which is the workforce. So what are you guys doing around time management to help students?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most critical things that we try to help our freshmen and incoming students with is learning how to budget your time. Just like budgeting your money is, okay, you need to have a plan. Now your roommate may only need to study, 2 hours a night, because their curriculum is a lot different than yours. You may need to, set aside 3 hours a day to study. Now, are you going to balance? Do you have a job here on campus or off campus to try to help, pay some of your bills? I think those are all the things that we really, we try to set up our students for success. And that's one of the most critical pieces is, right, the financial piece. Being responsible with your dollars, but also being responsible with your time and knowing, what, if you're spending 2 hours a day on social media, that's probably not the best use of your time. So, there's going to be times where, you know what, you need to go down that rabbit hole and see the latest TikTok from influencer of your choice. But there's a reason that you're here, and that reason is to get a degree and to make yourself better. And so, however we can set students up to be successful, really, we want to get them off on a good foot here in the first 6 weeks. When they get on campus, and time management is certainly critical. Now,
is that a course or is that an onboarding thing you're doing? Is there an online resource that's easy to access? Like, what's the vehicle you're using to help students focus on time management? Is it required reading? What does it practically look like?
Yeah, it's part of our orientation process, what you would call in the business world the onboarding process, right? These are all things, we get students, we try to keep it relatively small groups. That's one of the things that, right, our size and scale allows us to give students and their families more personal attention than maybe they'd get somewhere else. And so, that's definitely part of, the orientation process. And again, introducing them to all of the services that we offer so they know how to find them before they might need them, whether it's, right, as we're talking about, the health center, or, if you're from a group that maybe is underrepresented, hey, here's where you can find that in Mocker Union, where this group gets together on Friday mornings for coffee, right? So I think that is, making students aware of all the ways and resources they have is very important. And I think we do a really good job of that with our orientation team.
So parents listening, college students listening, just with our last 2 minutes here, about a minute and a half actually, what day one they arrive on campus and they haven't even gone through orientation yet, right? They just moved in. Day one, you, Pete Moris, Director of University Relations at University of Northern Iowa, what is your advice for all Iowa college students day one? What should they do to get plugged in and prepare for this year?
Yeah, absolutely. It's find your people, find who you want to spend the next 3-4 years of your life with here at UNI. Who knows? Maybe you'll even find somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with. But those bonds that develop typically happen in those first few weeks on campus. And so, find that group that you want to be involved in. And the research is very clear that students who are engaged, students who have meaningful relationships on campus, they do a lot better and have better outcomes. And so, take advantage of, find what it is that you want to explore. And maybe you don't find it right away, but keep trying.
And two of the biggest problems in our country right now, conflict response and isolation, loneliness, depression, those things, research is very, very clear. The antidote, or at least the remedy or the treatment for those things, are exactly what you described: building a strong community and getting your hooks into like-minded people that support you, lift you up, and push you forward. Pete Moris, Director of University Relations at the University of Northern Iowa. If there are parents or students listening to this that think, hey, I want to enroll there, what's the easiest way for them to reach out to you, and what's the easiest way for them to get plugged into the university?
Yeah, it's real simple. Just go to uni.edu, and we've got everything you need right there. You can apply to get enrolled for the next semester, or you can sign up to take a campus visit. And I'm right there in the campus directory too. And you can also find me. You don't have to tell me twice to tweet. I'm at Pete Moris, Moris, Moris on Twitter. And I get folks hit me up all the time. And it's a fun place to be, and it's a great time to be at UNI. And I appreciate you taking time to chat today.
What's Twitter, by the way?
Oh, I mean, X. I forget what with Elon in charge.
It's a nightmare, isn't it? It's so hard. Everybody, I'm like, I posted on X, huh? Twitter. Oh yeah, X. You can't win. If you call it X, people get confused. If you call it Twitter, you get corrected. Nobody can win. Pete Moris, Director of University Relations at the University of Northern Iowa. Thank you so much for coming on the Iowa Podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yep, you bet. It's been fun, Justin.
And to my fellow Iowans, Iowa expats, and Iowans at heart, thanks for listening and subscribing to the Iowa Podcast.